Okay, welcome to the Nordhouse Dunes commentary. This is Thomas. I'm Robby. This is Bryan. I don't know why I went, this is Thomas, and then just
everyone else introduce yourself. I'm incapable of speaking here.
Yeah, I'm Andrew.
Okay, so are you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. 3, 2, yeah.
Crunch.
What does the future
That's good. Okay, yeah, you can turn it down.
So when I first saw this, I was kind of blown away by the sound effects in the beginning. Did you guys do a lot of editing for that?
So what we did is we went to freesound.org, and then you can do like zero attribution where you can just get completely free sound effects, and then we made that.
And some of these shots we were intentionally taking on the actual trip because
Yeah.
So was
we
the
had
foot
it in
crunching
mind for
shot
once.
like an actual sound?
No. That foot crunching is the real sound.
Oh, it is?
actually. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the actual sound.
oh.
It's so satisfying.
You just put a bunch of echo and reverb on it. It doesn't sound like that. That opening, though, is exactly Nature Valley commercials.
Yeah.
which was one of the
Kelly
original
Saunders Nature Valley.
inspirations,
Oh,
Yeah.
is that where you drew the inspiration?
No, it was after I did it. I was like, I subconsciously did that. It wasn't conscious.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a few other teasers that were sort of like approaching that sort of style. But,
Yeah.
Do you guys think it's time to redo
like
the intro?
Oh, there was one.
That's a good
Or about
question.
Whitney. Oh, yeah, the New River Gorge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Redoing the intro sounds like a great idea, but
No, it doesn't even sound like
the
a
amount
great
of
Doesn't sound like a great idea. I think it's fantastic.
The only thing I missed from the old intro was the text like whooshing in.
You know, that actually is one thing that I think we could update without too much work is getting the text better. It's just like black text,
Yeah,
and you can
yeah.
barely even read it.
So one of my business school classmates is actually from right outside Ludington.
Oh, wow.
And when I
Really?
posted that we were there, she texted me, like, of course, a couple days later after I
yeah,
posted. She's like, "Oh my God, you were just in my hometown."
That's cool.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
We did talk about this, but
Right. The car that nearly crashed into you. We didn't realize it was inches from you. From our perspective, it's hard to see that.
it was.
But we saw it like do a 180, and we were just like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
And see,
Yeah.
this isn't exactly a reason you don't give me the camera. Out of focus.
Out of focus and overexposed.
Yes.
But in your defense, you can't see what you're doing with that camera. Nobody can.
Actually, so originally, and some of this is in the bloopers, but we had a scene from before we got to the motel, like us driving to the motel and hanging out there at night.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just took it out for pacing.
Yeah.
This is funny because you were filming at the same time. And I was like, no, that's okay. I'll
Right,
just
right.
film. My microphone wasn't hooked up.
Oh,
That's why the audio is especially bad here.
Okay, I was
Oh,
wondering.
I didn't even
about that,
notice that.
Yeah. And we did Helvetica for the subtitle fonts this time.
Well, what
They
was the
change every
rationale behind
episode.
I don't know why. It's just I was like, Helvetica looks nice.
We should just choose one and stick with
that? Can
it.
we use papyrus?
Papyrus.
Have you
Comic
seen
Sans.
there's a documentary about Helvetica.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Helvetica is a nice font. There's no
See,
denying that.
It's interesting. The world of business, Brian can relate. It's probably Arial. Arial is like the standard for business.
Yeah, Arial.
Well, for like typography, they use Helvetica a lot apparently. But
At my company, they use Universe, but like
I've never even heard of Universe.
I don't know much about fonts, but so it's just this is totally a side thing, but it's just kind of interesting how complicated fonts can get.
Yeah.
when you look
Speaking
into
of
it.
fonts, though, real fast,
oh my god.
they just standardized the National Park font for all the signs.
That is true. That's
so maybe we should look into using those.
That's funny that it wasn't standardized already.
Yeah.
It was funny that I actually had cash for that fee.
Yeah, that was lucky. Like who carries? I need to remember to keep cash and coins in my car.
It's funny because I was doing an experiment where I was only spending cash to like reintroduce the
shots.
pain of spending. So it just happened to be.
reintroduce the pain.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean though.
Like you're like
Yeah.
You know what's one of the most satisfying things about doing the commentary right now is that I can see all of us really cold, but we're actually inside.
Yeah.
A
Don't
warm
I
place.
specifically say that at some point? Like, yeah, I think
You
I
said
did.
that in a
Yeah.
past episode.
I think it might be this one actually. Maybe.
You
yeah.
did say it at this one. That campsite is hilarious. Like that isn't even off the trail.
I actually think it's really cool that they have that though.
Yeah.
Just for like, because
Well, I don't think that that's something that's like sanctioned.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
somebody did that. Was like,
oh yeah, now that you mention it.
although those are really nice chairs. I'm gonna go check the recording, guys.
One thing I'll say is that like I remember being super happy at this moment, and like I was worried about the cold weather, but it just felt really good being out there, especially after our last trip where it was like hot and muggy. Like this by comparison felt so good, and like
this was like this technically wasn't the Well, no, this was technically the last trip of the actual 2018 year, and at that point, I had just lost faith in all like weather completely. I was just like, this trip had better not suck.
To me, the beginning of this trip was like jumping into a cold pool. Like I wasn't used to the cold. I wasn't used to getting outside in that not negative, but the 20-degree weather. And then after that first day, I got acclimated.
I mean, this is your first serious winter camping trip, right?
Yeah, it was.
Actually, I wish we had talked about this on camera, but this was your first time. Like, no, I mean you've never been, but it would have been Mohican if you had come with us that one time, right?
Yeah, well, you could argue that Hockey Hills was a
that's
winter
true. Yeah.
one.
Wintry, yeah.
Wintry. But
That was camping, but that wasn't backpacking.
No.
Right,
But
right.
I'd also, you could also say that when we went to Yellowstone, and it got below freezing.
Oh,
Did it get
right.
freezing?
Yeah, that did.
There was.
I thought it just got to like high, like mid 30s.
I remember because me and Robbie were sleeping outside and there was like frost on my boots. But
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't go to bed. I was so cold. And then when I was in Death Valley, once it got below 40, which isn't quite freezing, but still
Andrew,
cold.
you look like something. like a character from some game. Go ahead.
no, just this whole time it's been sort of misting. Like
Yeah.
we had expected rain and we're kind of worried about that the whole time. And it was falling when we got there, but it really wasn't that bad, so we went for it.
No, it was ice raining out. It wasn't misting.
You guys,
It was really light when we got there.
It was light when we got there, yeah.
When we got there, yeah, but I mean, just the fact that a car slipped on the road shows that it was
No,
still
it was
pretty
ice.
significant.
Sure,
yeah,
yeah. But just as far as like hiking, it's not a huge
yeah.
deal. For
Yeah,
driving
the
or
first bit we got pretty confident. We're like, okay, this isn't too bad.
you know what's an asinine metric that I discovered the other day when I was coming up with something for business school
No,
about
what?
Adventure Archives? You know how many years people have spent watching our content?
really quick. I love the way those leaves look frozen under the ice. I love shots like that.
That
Anyway,
looks
go
like
ahead.
something out of Calvin and Hobbes. Or something.
143 years.
Oh wow,
Our content
cool.
has been
That's
viewed
crazy.
for 143 years.
that is really cool.
If you
Weird
put
to
that
think
edge to edge, that goes to the Earth and the moon back.
Time is
Guys,
distance.
No, no, stable.
make your elbows more submissive.
Yeah. Hands in the lap like that.
There's a shot in the bloopers of me like talking about the birch bark, and I go over to one, and I just like forget what I'm saying in the middle of it. But also
didn't you say like beach at some point, or was that? A different
oh
episode?
yeah, that was during the fungus.
Okay.
Oh, but also this bark that I grabbed, I eventually like just dropped it and then picked some better bark that was nearby because this was like completely wet and icy.
Oh.
Which in theory it's fine if it's wet, but that was way too like crusty and icy.
That slimy mushroom we just saw, are there any slimy mushrooms that you can eat?
Oh yeah, plenty.
So that's not like an indicator of poisonous
no.
necessarily.
There's not really any good indicator of that poison.
The indicator is that you die after you eat it.
There's no general rule really.
You died of dysentery.
Well, there might be some general rules, but even then.
So this is an example of, I guess, Andrew and I recently did the Wildcat
That reminds me of Yellowstone, by the way.
commentary
yes.
recently, and we were talking about how like bad the trail was, and this is an indication of how you can tell a trail's good is when you walk in and you just immediately get that like good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Wildcat
This
just
gonna be
started
good,
off
and you got that
terribly
pleasant
because you're like literally like walking into a trail just swarmed with vines.
I distinctly remember having a very good feeling about this trail.
It was a short trail, but still good.
Yeah, it was really short, but the variety was really nice too.
Yeah,
especially
and part of that is because we knew, one, it was going to be a winter trip, and two, well, which means that there's less daylight, and also, like, the sights would be... I love shots like that.
Yeah.
But
Well, something we've always tried to keep in mind when we're hiking and filming now is that we can't always just get to our campsites at night because then we don't get any actual daylight campsite shots,
right.
which is always a fun part of the trip.
That
Tent, it made no sense. Like,
yeah. It was huge, though. It was like... At first, I thought, like, oh, it's a 4-person tent. Then we expanded it. It's, like, definitely a 6-person tent or something.
yeah,
Humongo.
it's like
You know-
6-person with like little extra rooms on the side and everything.
If I were to give one piece of advice based on watching this, if you're a first-time backpacker, if it feels like it's too difficult, it probably is wrong.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, this was not far from the entrance.
No.
We had not probably even hiked a mile.
It was also set up on a weird ridge. Like,
Yeah.
there was not enough
It
space.
was not a good campsite.
It just,
It just boggles my mind that someone would come here take all the effort of bringing that stuff in, setting it up, and then just be like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother bringing this tent out.
It's just probably somebody who was in way over their head. They were like,
It had to be, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody was like
Yeah.
frozen,
Had
solid,
to be at
and
nighttime,
wet,
too,
and
or
then we're
something.
just like, I'm going back to the car.
"This is a fantastic shot."
I love that shot. Yeah, that was with the slow.
Those are a lot of the intro shots are just from the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's like you put all your effort into the shots at the beginning, and by the end, you're like, we can't use any of those.
By the end, it's just a camera on a phone.
So we used Hiking Project
Yeah,
as a GPS app, and actually it's pretty good.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering it's just free, there's no ads even.
Hiking project.
It's another
REI.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's
Okay.
another crowdsourced app. So just like any other crowdsourced app, sometimes the trails might not have every information there, but
I feel like I've only used it twice, so this and Timberline, and they were both like.
if
super
anything,
precise.
it's definitely a lot more streamlined when you use it.
yeah.
There has been such a rush to get a hiking app out there, and most of them are just not great. So
It is a monumental task.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This split up was really like just tangibly funny. The way we split off and could still see each other.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, okay. Well, maybe this is better saved for a podcast topic, but I was going to ask, is it really frowned upon to A, split up, and B, go hiking alone? It's like I feel like
I think
there's
it
certain
depends who you
people,
talk
certain
to.
camps, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, because there are
Yeah.
plenty of outdoors people who are like, it's great to hike alone.
Yeah, and I hiked alone all the time when I was in LA.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that it's like statistically better to not hike alone.
Yeah, absolutely. If we're
but-
talking about safety.
Yeah, but it's not a bad thing to hike alone. So
Especially if you're prepared. That's a
yeah,
cool
if you're,
shot.
if you're prepared,
Yeah,
there's
really like
really
that
no
shot.
reason.
And there are certain, if you're just on a well-populated trail like the Timberline Trail, sure, that's fine. But if you're going mountaineering in a
Right.
in a like an unknown crevice of Mount Whitney, probably
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
do
like
that.
anything with a trail, I feel like
Like a well-traveled trail.
Like,
yeah.
well, that has an actual path.
You
know?
can also bring like satellite
yeah.
communicating stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you get injured, but anyways, that's a whole another can of
Yeah.
worms. But so for those parts where
Oh,
we're
yeah,
switching
yeah.
over, I tried to get the eye
Like
What did they call
where
that?
our bodies match up. I
Yeah.
forget what they call that.
eye tracking.
The point of focus? No.
Something. It's where you match the thing that you're looking at on the
it's a
screen. to the
match
next-
cut.
Match cut.
That's
Yeah.
what it's
Oh,
called.
also this song that's playing, I forgot for this scene. You were like, I need like a rain song. And I was like, okay, what's the feeling? You're like something like cheerful, and I was like, and then I wrote it, and I was like, this like was way too dramatic. But I will say, I was trying to like pick out instruments that had sort of like a rainy / slushy
Like a
feeling.
rain stick.
Yeah, it's like interesting to think about that stuff to me.
Now that I got a piano, I want to start writing a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a ridge that looked like you guys might have gone up, but then I realized the trail was just like 10 feet away from us.
Yeah, no.
It is fun to like take the opportunities to split up and stuff like that.
I think
though.
that's great, dude.
yeah.
It's so much
Even
fun.
if it's something tiny like that.
Yeah.
It's just cool like getting different perspectives. And
Robbie's reaction always cracks me up. Like, whoa, hills.
Well, it's funny because I actually didn't notice that until he said it.
it was a good looking hill.
Yeah, it's some good looking
That is a
hills.
nice hill.
It would have been really cool if we could have camped up there like in better weather, but it would have been way
Yeah.
too cold and rainy.
Yeah. Like if it was the opposite of the weather we were
Yeah,
doing, then
like, that looks awesome.
yeah.
Was it a big space or was it like?
It wasn't huge, no.
That wasn't terribly tiny though, not like
Yeah.
the other.
No,
tent that
it
we
was a
saw.
great spot if you were going to camp there.
Yeah.
One person or one tent, it would have been fine. We'll call it Lover's Peak.
Isn't that from Breath of the Wild?
Maybe.
There's
I don't know.
Lover's
There's
Pond.
Lover's Pond,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
pond.
It's
That
funny because
looks
that
really
looks
high
real.
up.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
really high up.
It was kind of high up.
What, Thomas? You were kind of leaning towards camping there, weren't you? That was
Yeah.
the impression I got.
I thought it would have been cool.
And you said there were campsites there too.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Either that or I just couldn't see that well, and those logs looked like places to sit.
If I'm going to be honest, I don't remember that much of this trip. I was so
really?
tired.
I remember the second morning.
I
yeah.
got into from Hawaii like the day before.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, that's something we should mention. Is we weren't even sure if you were going to come on. This
yeah,
trip.
no.
But you were I was actually surprised you did, but I was really happy that you did.
Oh, I was happy I came too, but it's just more of like, if you notice, I'm not really as energetic, and it's for two reasons. One, I was really tired, and two, this was such a far cry from the beaches of Hawaii that I was just miserable.
So we took cover under this tree
was
because you probably like noticed that the rain was picking up. Like you can see like drops
Yeah,
on our lenses now. So everybody's got their hood on. Once Andrew puts his hood on, it's getting serious.
For some reason, I love like when you guys put your packs on those little branches. I love stuff like that for some reason. There's just something that's like evocative of like an old adventure.
It's great when stuff like that works out,
Yeah.
So you never want to put your backpack on wet ground,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was it literally the night before that you had come back?
No, it was.
Or was it 2 nights? Oh, I guess we stayed in the motel anyway.
Yes. When? Oh, I'll look at a
So
calendar.
yeah, it's probably the day before we left, but we had that other night
Yeah.
to.
I think I was in Ohio for a day because I needed to go. That's right. I needed to come back and I needed to buy my
Right.
cold weather gear.
So those were pineapples, right?
Yeah.
So do
Oh,
you
yeah.
like having that quantity of something sweet as a hiking food?
Yeah. So
Because like you'll bring like those red gummies too.
yeah. So
It
I
can
have
be tasty sometimes.
no. I got a system. I got sweet. I got salty, and I got water. So my saltiness.
The 3 elements.
Yeah, my saltiness
Counters out the sweet.
evokes me drinking more
the
water.
water.
When I'm drinking too much water, I have sugar to kind of keep my energy high, and it's a cycle. The sugar makes me want sugar.
Yeah. It's
a
Salt,
vicious cycle.
the sugar wants salt.
My
Salt
ratio
to
is
water.
more like 5-to-1 salty to sweet. So like if there's a few M&Ms in a trail mix, I'm down with that. But
I like the texture of the gummies in the pineapple. That's
Yeah.
a really cool looking sand dune.
Now,
And
Robby,
a good shot.
We call this the pyramid of.
This is actually the shot the postcard's based on.
that is a strangely appealing shot.
Yeah, and the dunes look like really rugged.
It's cool to see the dunes with like literally nobody on there.
Yeah.
Because every time I've been to the dunes, it's always been people walking everywhere.
Yeah. So satisfying to walk on that frozen sand.
It's funny how much that looks like Death Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of dunes, let's congratulate our newest national park,
Oh, right.
Right.
Indiana State Dunes. I don't know
Indiana
what it's called.
Dunes State
Well, it's not
Park.
state anymore,
It's
is it?
national park.
Yeah.
National Park. That's
It's
cool.
a national park.
I went there. It was
Your
cool.
your logic is sound, but did you just come up with that on the fly, Andrew?
No. I knew that.
Okay.
Because I had seen it so many other times before, with, like various things.
Now, if you listen carefully, you can hear the geese. That's cool.
It's
shot.
funny because the lens gets wet sometimes, but that kind of adds to it.
Oh yeah.
The thing I like most about these dunes shots is the fact that the horizon and everything is just completely white and
Yeah.
cloudy.
Yeah.
It really like if there was one thing I don't know, like if I could transfer an image into your brain, it'd be like that thing really is what makes me think of the wintertime camping.
Remind me a little bit of Algonquin the last morning.
Oh yeah. I
yeah.
see it.
It is cool though. It's funny because like you go to a place like this and you're like, oh, this would be better in the summer. In your head, you think that, but you get there and like it's got its own unique look.
Yeah.
Being on the edge of like any of the Michigan lakes is probably one of my favorite places in the world. Just like any of them, like Pictured Rocks, this one, Manitou, all that stuff.
It feels different from being on a beach, and I think like on an ocean beach, because I think that's just because ocean beaches are much more heavily populated.
Yeah.
And
You got like birds and stuff. Yeah.
birds and like
Well,
there's
more
always
birds.
buildings and like hotels on the side.
Oh,
but these feel
yeah,
like
that's
really
amazing.
like
Michigan is
isolated.
just constantly cold.
Yeah.
The Great Lakes are just constantly cold. The one exception I'll say is if you guys ever get a chance, the Maine coast, Maine.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like more wild and stuff.
yeah, because it's not like quote unquote desirable beach.
No, it's no beach. It's
Yeah.
It'd be great
rocks.
if there was just like some dude with a cart who had like crab rolls or something. Get the crab rolls. I love That's what I was thinking of.
I love shots that play off of the horizon of the lake and like just are very geometric and
Yeah.
One of the things I want to just highlight from an artistic standpoint is how colorful certain aspects of our clothing are, and how that can
Yeah.
be representative of certain.
Actually, we should like you used
Characteristics.
a film filter this time.
No,
No?
only on the intro.
Oh.
Maybe I put like 5%.
Yeah,
on the
like
whole
a
thing.
slight.
Yeah.
yeah. But maybe that's just
Quick side note about while we're talking about that, this is all handheld. So we're using the GH5. It has a really good dual stabilizer. We couldn't use our actual stabilizer because it was raining, obviously. So, anyways, I thought it turned out pretty well,
right.
surprisingly. or despite them.
I forgot about that shot.
This song sounds
Oh.
like something.
Yeah. So this, it's kind of based on, or sounds similar to Fendrana Drifts, kind of.
That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
of.
So it's got like those.
What's
like
Vendrana
those-
Drifts?
Metroid Prime.
Yeah, it's a winter
Snow
song.
level,
Yeah.
okay.
But it's got those like echoey sounds in the background. But also, if you listen to it, there's the theme song from Pictured Rocks, since we're still on the Michigan shore. So I incorporated that a bit.
callback.
Yeah.
It's beached whale bones.
Yeah. Those are like really cool to see.
That
though.
was cool. Isn't it weird how things that don't like have senses can just be in the cold and it doesn't matter?
Yeah. It's
You
like,
know, like that-
I was just thinking that would suck to be that log.
That log doesn't care though. It's like I'm frozen.
I'm dead. Already dead.
That's a great shot.
I remember watching you guys trying. Oh, there's a seagull. Let's get it.
Yeah. I didn't realize we got it in
Down
slow mo.
Coast.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you guys got it.
That on film.
Yeah, we got it a few times.
Here's the money
This
shot.
is a great shot. Yeah. So this shot and another one that I think we also used. We were intentionally trying to get thumbnail shots.
Yeah.
Did we
So
use
that
these?
one's on the next morning.
Oh, okay.
It's when the waves are super choppy.
Oh, did you just stick it in there, or?
Huh?
Because wasn't there another shot that we specifically intentionally got there, facing the opposite direction?
Oh.
We tried 2 shots, one facing
It would have
each
made
way.
sense because we
Yeah,
were walking
I don't
opposite
know.
way.
I
but-
don't remember if we used that one
Yeah.
or not. Now that you mention it.
But yeah, that the thumbnail shot was with the telephoto lens. Those
Yeah.
always look really cool. And it's cool because like on the edge here, you can kind of just like wander in back to the forest. There's like multiple trails leading back in.
I mean, it's just like
kinda free
just like any
feeling.
beach.
Yeah.
They've always got those little trails that people always take to get like in and out.
This is a nice campsite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was literally like
Super
right
nice.
when we got
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
in the forest.
The only problem with this, and it's not really an issue with the campsite, it's just that in the winter, I mean, like I was surprised how much the wind kicked up at night. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
It must have done a lot
Intense.
to block what wind was.
Yeah.
there, though.
Because like as soon as you get past
Because you could
those
hear
berms
it.
or
Yeah.
whatever-
But then when you
Yeah.
got out, it wasn't like as crazy as it sounded.
No, it was like a
Yeah.
foxhole, you know, kind of.
Do you have my tent, right? Still?
We do.
You do.
I was going to say.
Do you guys air it out?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
yeah,
did.
Cool.
That'd be bad if we did. Like all musty.
It's been a few months
I
now.
don't think I have anybody's tent.
That is so funny.
That's what we call unnecessary weight.
The way he eats this cheese stick is so funny.
Although it did actually come out useful, the plate.
Yeah, it did.
See,
Do you always eat cheese sticks that way, or do you just eating that because?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like, is it string cheese or is it just?
No, it's
That's
just a
just
block
a-
of cheese. Sargento, I believe.
What's wrong? I mean, it's like
No, it's not. There's nothing wrong. It's just funny.
Something that's funny about these scenes is that since you have a blue tent and I have like the lime green tent, you can always tell who's like
Yeah,
you're looking
yeah.
at based on the tint of the scene.
Robbie. I had no clue that you did this.
Yeah, I knew you got out. I didn't realize you walked all the way to the beach though.
Oh, yeah.
It was cold, man.
Yeah, it was.
Like I was dead asleep during this.
I will say at one point, I understand it because at one point I was going stir crazy and I got out just to pee and I was
Yeah.
like, that alone was enough to keep me from going crazy. But
Man,
Big
I love
snowflakes.
I love
Yeah.
how like quiet it is now because that's the thing I love about when it's freshly snowing.
Oh, so
is you
good.
go out and it's just so quiet. And
it was kind of cool because you could like sort of tell when it stopped raining and started snowing. Like the patter sounded a little different.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
But man, the hours we spent in the tent were kind of mind numbing, and
Yeah.
like it was a struggle between going crazy and wanting to go outside, but also wanting to stay inside and keep warm.
Yeah.
It was,
I'm pretty lucky. I got like this weird place I can go with my imagination.
That's
that
a cool
just keeps
shot.
me-
yeah. This time lapse I got from
Sherlock.
I like opened up the door and stuck the camera on the floor because I didn't want to go outside, and
Got that time lapse.
yeah,
That was a great
I've always wanted to get a time lapse like that.
I don't have too much memory of the waiting.
Oh really?
Yeah, for whatever reason.
How long were you out for?
Just like 5 minutes.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that your guys' tent?
You guys also were live streaming.
Oh,
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took a lot of time up. It was like an hour. Yeah, because we had signal out there.
It was so annoying because we were in the other tent listening to you all having fun, and we were like, we can't join it.
That's
I mean, we
always the
could have
case.
like gotten out, but it was way too cold.
Big Sur all over again
Yeah.
with less charcuterie.
So this part where I say, is Brian still alive? And you say something. Do you remember what you said? Because we just put unintelligible for the subtitles.
I don't know.
Maybe that was in the morning. It is in the morning, yeah.
I remember watching my phone clock, and I remember thinking like, oh wait, I can get out before midnight because I have to set stuff up, and I was kind of relieved that I didn't have to stay in the tent. But it was only going to be being forced to get out that would get me out.
You guys got out like 40 minutes before.
Yeah.
Because I remember
That's cold, man.
That's a long time.
It's definitely a mindset thing because I remember by the time they had gotten things set up, I was getting on my sleeping bag. I was actually cold, and I wasn't actually comfortable in my sleeping bag. But getting out and doing all that stuff that we did out there, and then getting back in, I felt really good. So it's just like you gotta be brave that first bit of cold, and then once you start moving around, it feels a lot better.
Absolutely.
Now, was that countdown an app or just something built into your phone?
No, that was an app that I downloaded specifically for this.
That's got to be like some malware app.
Yeah, probably.
Andrew's phone is far
That's already got
far
plenty
gone.
of malware.
Yeah.
See, look at that. Look
Yeah,
at
I
my
brought.
plate.
We got fig. We got the whole.
No. I was talking about my plate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would have been really cool. Like if it had been warmer and like easier to clean those wooden boards, that would have been really cool to use.
Those figs were good, man. I don't really have figs that often, but
Yeah.
they are pretty tasty.
Not as good as the champagne.
Yeah, that champagne
That actually
was
really hit
good.
the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
It
still
was
bubbly.
carbonated. Yeah.
How often do you get to drink a cold carbonated drink while camping? You know.
Yeah, that's true.
That cheese was so good too.
What
really
was it?
hungry.
It was smoked apple Gruyere or applewood smoked Gruyere. Got it from Aldi's. It's cheaper there.
I think I'm gonna go to Aldi's after this. They sell prosciutto at Aldi's.
Yeah,
$4. Like,
It's
good prosciutto.
Way cheaper than That's where I go for all my charcuterie.
Sponsored by Aldi.
What was Andrew's previous obsession before charcuterie?
Tacos?
What was it?
Tacos.
Tacos?
Yeah, tacos were there.
I'm always
What was-
obsessing over some food. I really wish the
Yeah, I feel
wooden
like there
board
was
thing had
something
worked
for
though,
that.
because that was like almost like perfect.
I
We
don't-
found a nice flat wooden board on the
I-
beach. Like,
I don't know. I feel like
I mean, if
picking
we
anything up off the shores of Lake Michigan.
had been able to start a fire that night, which we wouldn't have been able to, but that would have been a good way to like sanitize it, just burning it.
even like the chemicals.
There's no chemicals. It's just wood.
Lake Michigan.
I'm okay with skipping the presentation. Just give me that food. Put it.
That plate seriously is just a straight up Coleman plate
Yeah.
it's not.
from the Final Fantasy 15.
No, it's not
spot.
Coleman.
It's not Coleman.
No, I got a nice enamel one.
That's Coleman. What are you talking about? That's Coleman.
No,
right?
it's not.
What brand is it?
I don't know, but it's not Coleman.
I mean, I'm not saying Coleman's bad.
No,
I'm
but-
saying it's like the most prototypical.
So I sort of mentioned it here, but when I first opened that bottle at home, the cap like literally popped off.
Wow.
Yeah. Like a cork.
Like while you were twisting it, though, right?
Like I gave it a slight twist and it just popped
Okay.
off like an actual champagne bottle.
GSI Outdoors.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
How'd you
The
know?
I
GSI.
googled Coleman camp.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's not Coleman, is it?
No, it's GSI.
Yeah, I
that's
was
like
gonna
you can get it from REI. Anyways,
I got mine at REI. Hey, happy birthday.
We're wasting a lot of, or maybe that was snow.
this may sound really pathetic, but this is probably one of the most enjoyable New Year's I've had in a long time.
No, it makes
Same.
sense because it's like a lot of times you're just like celebrating with your family
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not really the kind of person to go out to like a bar
Yeah.
and like celebrate with like 50 other people.
That
that I
honestly
don't know.
sounds kind of awful. But
You know,
Yeah.
I've done that like once or twice, and it is the most depressing thing. You're like, I'm surrounded by people I don't know. What type of
Yeah.
New Year's celebration is this? This is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
so originally we had the music come in. I don't know. I wish there was a way to fix it because we were singing, we had the music come in after we were done singing. But originally it like really came in after the countdown because that would have been cool too. But whatever. It's a Auld Lang Syne.
Yes.
It was actually really fun to like write that song though, and like bring in a bunch of different instruments.
This was the most disappointing part of the evening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's just too cold to get that water hot
I
enough.
wonder.
Yeah.
So I see whenever I see other people's camping videos, they've got like a wind block. I think that probably would have.
I wonder, yeah.
But
I feel like Up Trail 71 had one of
Yeah.
those one time when we went with him, that is.
yeah,
He did, right?
he did.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Look at that refraction on that glare.
Yeah. It's funny. I thought we had moved our headlamps, but maybe we were off getting stuff and we forgot to.
Well, also, more and more water kept getting on the lens, and the more
Yeah,
water
yeah,
that was
yeah.
on there, the worse it
I mean,
got.
you can see all the bubbles
Right.
on the edge right there.
It looks kind of cool though.
Yeah. It's that refraction.
Man. It is funny how fun that was, though.
It was great. That was
Yeah.
one of the best New Year's ever.
I'm excited for the next trip. This makes me excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely a good trip.
Hopefully a little warmer next time.
It might not be. Who knows? I feel like it's either been like in the 50s or like way below freezing.
Yeah.
And if it's in the 50s, it's raining.
So maybe it's not much of a trade-off.
It won't be because it's 2019.
This is the year of good weather.
The year of Luigi.
We haven't done a trip in 2019 yet, so we'll see.
I've done half a trip in 2019.
Yeah.
That's a great shot. Look at that.
It's out of focus.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's a terrible shot.
Both of them were for some reason. Like we
That's
messed
really
up
funny.
both of them. I don't know what happened.
That looks like it's scripted, honestly. It's like just two people having a conversation.
Like Brian's
Brian's.
in focus.
Kind of worked out. I like those faraway shots like that.
They're great.
Yeah. But it like gives you the whole, the whole.
I mean, that thing that I say every time we're at a campsite. Got to get. I know what you mean. Because
It's called
like,
an establishing shot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because it kind of gives like. So when we camp and we walk up to that campsite, we can like see the whole thing. We're like, oh
Yeah,
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 my
yeah.
tent's here. And then so when you show that to people, they can kind of get that same
Right.
feeling.
No, it's
I like that.
I would call that geographical storytelling, because it's one thing to watch us go camping. We know where we've already been, but if you're just seeing this for the first time,
Right.
you want to be able to
You really
visually
have a sense of
map where
Yeah.
we've been.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can you eat those dehydrated mountain houses without putting the water in? Is this stuff already cooked?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like if you were
It's not
desperate, you
good,
could
though.
just like
No, because it would soak up so much water from you that would just
Okay.
probably be worse.
Yeah. The curry noodles were so good.
yeah, they were good.
Maybe we should explain the fork thing too, because
I think it came
It was explained in the video.
did
basically.
it come
Yeah.
through clear enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, that mountain
just
house,
basically Brian was like, "Get out a better fork," and I was like, "No."
that mountain house was pretty good, if I say so.
This was
Yeah,
a good morning
yeah.
too. Yeah. This trip really did turn out well.
It hit the spot,
it was
boy.
a good way to end the year.
Finally.
Perfect amount of discomfort offset by amazing like locations and gradually getting better.
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah.
Not to jump to the ending though, but as much as Marcella's was good.
Mancino's?
Sorry, Mancino's. Marcella's is a.
Does
one-
Marcellus Wallace look like?
Marcella's is in short north. Mancino's was good. I keep associating the post hike meal with the Manistee River post hike meal,
Oh, that's
because
fun.
that one was exceptionally good.
Oh right, yeah.
Mancino's
right.
was all right.
See, that's the opposite for me because I was pretty
Yeah, yeah,
miserable
yeah.
after Manistee.
Oh.
I was sitting there going like no glasses and just like
That's right. Poor Brian.
I'm like, I can't see it.
Yeah, so those poles
Put
were
it in my eye.
those poles were so frozen that we had to like heat them up before pulling them apart.
yeah, like there had been a little bit frozen
Oh.
in the joints.
Yeah.
I had completely forgot that my gloves were frozen and like I couldn't move them.
Were they still warm at least?
No, they were-
Yeah, mine are frozen too, and cold.
but that taught us to bring on all our like extremities.
This is the first song that we put in the episode.
That's
Oh,
a great shot.
yeah.
Just, I
So
mean,
again,
that-
this is
Music sometimes comes in later. Go ahead.
actually when I first started trying to write a song for that, it didn't turn out very well, but the idea was Auld Lang Syne, but like more upbeat. So you can like do it.
Can I ask all three of you a question?
No.
Why do none of you clip your water hose to your backpack?
Because I always have to unclip it. I
Really?
inevitably have to unclip it.
For what?
Because it's like it's not in the right place, and like I want it to be.
My
fun.
clip gets unbuttoned, so I'm just
Okay,
like
because
screw it.
I've gotten mine to the point where it's like it's always mine has like my backpack has like a little plastic thing to tuck it under, but
And Thomas
I
is
just
a
always wondering.
magnet.
Mine's
but I-
magnetic, so it most of the time is, and if it's not, it just sometimes falls
I
off.
just
things
I just
back
thought
on.
about it because I was like every time like every few few hours I was like, can you give me my hose? I'm like, oh sure.
It's because like this feels so uncomfortable to me
So-
to grab it. You know.
Really?
You say that's where the drift. I don't think that's actually where the driftwood came from, but
What?
I don't think that's where the driftwood came from.
What are you talking
Like
The-
you don't
the
think
thing-
it came from that thing specifically or the fences
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general?
Pause real quick.
That thing
real quick.
specifically.
This shot right here, Andrew blurred
Oh,
the
yeah,
trees. So those
It
weren't
gives it
actually
more
blurred by
depth.
the lens. Yeah.
Right.
So it was a little
phony.
It
fake.
looked really cool. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it came from that fence specifically, but I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. I mean, but it. Oh, was that the time lapse slow mo one? No, that's later.
That's later.
It came from the back of a barge.
But the trails we were just on were kind of cool because there were multiple trails going all over the
Looks
hills.
like the ice wall. from
Oh,
Game of
yeah.
Thrones. So, do you guys know why the water was so choppy?
I don't know, but it's funny because in some of the that's a great shot, by the way.
So that was a contender for the thumbnail.
Yeah. But in some of the televoto shots of the water, like it's not a straight line in the distance. And I don't know if that's like a similar effect to the heat waves or if that's just like how the water was or
I don't know.
I was talking about Hawaii here.
Mm-hmm.
So is it balaclava or baraclava?
balaclava. Also,
It's baklava.
Is it balaclava, I think?
It's
Yeah.
clava.
so this shot originally
pretty sure it's claw.
Thomas was originally saying we should all line up, but we ended up using a smaller portion of that shot. But also this song I forgot to mention also has the Pictured Rocks theme in it.
Balaclava.
Baklava.
And also I added some Chinese erhu violin because I always do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gives it a nice-
Baklava is really good. There's a flat Earth documentary on Netflix. I was thinking about it because you were talking about the horizon. That is a really interesting documentary. You should watch it. You kind of feel sympathetic to them because it's just like people are looking for community, and it's they found a way to find community.
What are we talking about?
Flat Earth.
I just wanted to make sure.
No.
It'll change the sync.
Brian was trying to change the resolution, but it would have
It's like, what is this?
paused the video.
Peasant 720p.
Yeah, we are in peasant
There's also a
mode right
risk
now.
of it like buffering. I love that blue coast in the distance. Like that water is so blue.
Like
Way bluer
Gatorade.
this day.
Yeah, we went pretty light in the saturation. You can see the steady cam back there. Just FYI. Trivia.
In what episode did you see?
These were really that legit was like detached already. So someone
Yeah.
must have looked at it.
So I the one that was detached, I put in my pocket, took home because I wanted to show my mom, and it had completely curled up.
Oh, really?
So it was unrecognizable as a mushroom anymore. It just looked like a piece of bark.
Huh. Interesting.
We do not condone Thomas's actions.
It was
Do
already
not remove mushrooms from the forest.
it was already on the ground.
I'm kidding. Mushrooms are okay, right?
It was already, it was like
Yeah.
detached and everything.
Mushrooms are okay, right? You can take that.
Edible ones for
Most-
sure, yeah.
most
I
ones,
mean,
yeah.
It's like it's akin to picking a berry, like
Okay.
when you're anatomically speaking.
Anatomically.
Thomas actually spotted that one, I think. It
Yeah, give me all the
was a
credit.
good eye.
My contribution to this.
It looks like a
episode.
tennis
That blue
ball
wood.
when you cut a tennis ball
Yeah.
because it's got that.
It reminds me of the way my parents cut oranges or peeled oranges.
Oh, yeah.
They would like put
Cut
little
around the
cuts in
edge.
the skin so
Oh.
you could peel them like as sliced.
It is like that. Satisfying. I always forget about this part.
This is where we ate the candy.
candy, yeah.
Okay.
That was some good.
Yeah,
The
that
leftovers are actually in that box over there. I just brought it over.
that pile of wood. Somebody must have spent a lot of work on that, and I'm surprised it was as dry as it was.
Yeah, it was great. So these I took in my backyard.
Those
while
Asian
editing.
gummies have like the best gummy texture in the history
Yeah.
of gummy.
in the history of coming.
It was actually really lucky that it just happened to snow,
Oh yeah.
so I was able to get those. Because we were supposed to do them while we were filming the episode, but we forgot.
Wait, what do you mean?
Those shots of my hand.
Oh, those aren't from the episode.
Yeah, it's from my backyard.
Oh, okay, that's what you meant.
Because I
didn't know
remember,
that.
I remember
Wait.
you saying we should get shots, and I thought we had, but I
Yeah.
guess. Oh, that's. So
I was,
funny.
I
So
was,
we faked it.
yeah, I was looking at. I remember when I first watched it,
Wow.
I saw the shots of you holding. it. I was like, wow, I don't remember them actually doing that.
This is my least favorite episode
That
now.
is so funny.
Just a bunch of
You
phonies.
fakes.
Just a
Green
bunch of-
screen.
That would be funny if you used a green screen for that shot.
Or just like cut out the candy in Photoshop and had it float across the screen.
Well, I would have never known that. That's so funny.
there you go. There's commentary's totally worth it, right?
Yeah, that's the.
So was this in your
Insight you
backyard
get.
too?
No.
Actually, a little bit of trivia. This whole episode was filmed in our backyard.
because one of us owns a cabin out there. No.
You know,
Although we did see cabins
if
out
this was all green screen, like we could literally be famous just for that.
there. Like you're literally giving us more credit by claiming we're doing green screen.
Yeah. So
It's much easier to
the
just
best
go for
green screening in the world.
Yeah.
In the history of
For those who don't know,
mankind.
we got a comment saying it was a green screen on our Yosemite episode.
Yeah.
Which is like,
I was like, sure, if you want to believe that.
Everything
that
else
shot I
about the
remember
episode
getting.
was real except that one shot.
yeah. It's funny. I got that shot of me going under the log. 'Cause
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to throw in a little
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 drama.
extra.
No, when I'm editing, sometimes there will be shots of just Andrew doing something random, and I'll be like, I don't remember him filming this. Like he's like straggling behind. He's like, I better get a
Yeah.
good shot here.
There are times where that happens. Yeah. I'm surprised those flowers
Slap.
were still in that tree.
Slap. Slap, slap.
That's like a drinking game. Drink every time I slap a tree.
I feel like I want to add my own.
We should
We
do
should-
that.
yeah.
We should take a couple episodes and then literally just have like tallies on it that show for when certain things happen.
I remember that berry shot just now. I think you put a note in the narration that was like, and these berries were nice or something. 'Cause you like didn't know it. You were like, narration, berries were nice.
The berries were nice. I don't know what I was trying to say here. I was so.
You were talking about the tree has another tree to fall on.
Yeah, it was such a dumb
Yeah,
comment.
No,
no,
it's good,
it
it's
was
good.
just funny because you literally did the exact George W. Bush,
What?
where he was trying to say if a tree falls in the wood,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't make a sound, or nobody's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound, and he messed it up so badly. It was just like when
Fooled me
George W.
once.
Bush.
It's like,
Shame on me.
Yeah.
Fool me
Fool me, you
twice.
can't get fooled again.
But fool me once, can't fool me again.
That hill was very steep. It looks less steep, probably.
It's interesting too.
We're like, that hill was very steep.
And Brian was like, we climbed a steep hill.
Yeah, it was. Someone tripped going down. I think.
Oh, also,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
Brian
hear the
did.
you
Yeah,
can hear
it's
the
in the
theme
blue
song.
song.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to call you out like that.
You can hear the theme song and the flute of the song, by the way.
You know what, Andrew? You know what?
You can hear the theme song in 50% of our music.
That's true.
That's another
It's a
point for the drinking
I can't
game.
tell if you're wearing a hat or if that was your hair.
Well,
It's
you know,
hair.
I just want to clarify to people, I'm not intentionally writing the theme song. Like, that's not what's happening. It's that my musical palette is so limited that the theme song just comes out. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. That's the theme song. Whoops.
That's funny.
See, for me, maybe this is partly has to do with it, but I remember at one point we were talking about like, oh, we should kind of like incorporate like previous songs into the music.
yeah.
And then I thought you like just totally took that to heart. You're like, put the
I
theme
thought so
song and
too.
everything.
That's
No.
Look at my hair. It's just like
I'm,
it's like a great horned owl.
I'm so out of it at this point.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing we forgot to mention. In the morning, but you and Brian were like almost considering hiking out.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
just.
right. Yeah, yeah.
It was so cold.
It was mostly me.
It was mostly you? Okay.
mostly me. I was just so done with the cold.
It's good you guys stayed another night.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's weird.
Well,
I
we're-
totally forgot about that. That did happen. It got so much easier,
It
though.
did.
Yeah, when
Once
it
you started
stopped
moving.
raining, yeah.
Once you started moving.
you'll notice the song has some icy sounding instruments too.
Does it?
It's that echoey.
I don't know if this ever actually got conveyed in the
Look
video.
at that hole in the roots. Go ahead.
But I'm glad you interrupted me for that. But actually, so my rain jacket got really like wet
Oh,
during the
yeah.
first day, even though everybody else's is dry. And so over the course of that first night, my rain jacket was like frozen. So that's why I'm only wearing like the down under layer. But then that night when we made the fire, I was able to dry it off. So you see me wearing it in the last day.
Was that a jump cut when I cut that open, or did it just look really
No, you
jerky?
cut it.
Okay.
I
It
think
was
it,
a very unsatisfying cut. It was like,
Because it's all crunchy.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, this is when I asked the really important question. We actually got some comments on this. Like, when you cut open a poisonous
Right,
mushroom
yeah.
with your knife, and then you
Yeah.
cut open a steak with it later the day, how do we not get?
You just,
like,
wipe it off. It's fine. Yeah, it really is like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it also that nothing is in mushrooms are that poisonous? That's such a small amount.
No, they can be really poisonous, but like I don't know why exactly, but you have to like actually consume a chunk of it or something, or like a piece of it.
just wondering.
Like it doesn't have like residue, I guess is the point. But there are definitely plants that are like that. Like, oh, I like that shot. Belladonna is like a famous one. People used to touch the berries and touch their eyes to dilate their pupils.
Ew.
But they're like deadly poisonous.
This whole scene reminds me
I
a
love
lot
that
of
shot,
the
by the
Dolly Winter episode.
Yeah, yeah. That's the color too, like
Yeah.
with the sunshine and the green.
Like the music too.
yeah, this was a great song.
I actually had a lot of throwbacks to the. Was it Zaleski when we did a winter episode? No.
Zaleski was basically winter. It was
Seneca?
really cold.
No. It was an
Earlier?
older episode. It was the one where we were researching what those little evergreens were that covered the ground.
That was Zaleski. That was
Okay,
Zaleski.
yeah, I got throwbacks to Zaleski in this
Right.
one. I think because I kept seeing all those the
Oh,
same
yeah,
evergreens.
Did you mean to put the Ocarina of Time theme in there? Because someone was asking about that too. Because at one point it goes.
Robbie's going to refer you back to his previous statement.
That was a
Yes.
really good song.
Little
Though.
known fact.
I like that song a lot.
Every music actually is a derivative of the Adventure Archives theme song.
That's a good shot.
Put a
Little
minor
known
warning
fact.
shots, too.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yar, I
Wait,
don't know what
widely
I'm doing.
known fact.
I love how it looks with those pine trees and stuff too.
Crunch.
And it's funny because you were walking slowly in that, but you can't really tell in the context of the other
Yeah.
shots.
I think
I like that shot a lot too.
Yeah.
I was specifically walking slowly there because a lot of those ground shots they move too fast.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of disorienting.
I noticed in that shot you were like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, to make a comment about that shot where we were like filming the up tree,
Mm-hmm.
I actually have tried to take pictures that way of trees, but they don't come out well like on a still
yeah.
picture.
You need the depth of field and the
Yeah.
motion.
The
the
motion,
depth
I
of
guess.
and the
really
the
adds to it.
parallax is what really makes it.
The parallax. I like that word.
Oh yeah, the parallax.
The parallax.
This is a great shot. The way it's moving backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that in your.
I'd never done that
pocket.
before, and I was like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna try that. Let's
we
see
need
if
to-
that works.
Put that in your pocket
Pretty
for
cool.
next time.
I was thinking we should like get more really interesting
Animal
shots
Crossing.
for each scene.
Yeah, just always like
It's a good thing we
pushing
got us
your
shot of that
creative
sign.
boundaries for stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
trying stuff you've not done before because it's so easy to just do the easiest thing.
Right. Especially when you're like hiking.
Yeah.
You know, I had so much fun driving from Ohio to Michigan. I know we're kind of past it, but just driving up to the.
I did too.
The drive. I mean,
You
the
also
drive.
had fun?
No, I'm saying because I didn't have to try.
okay.
But the drive to Michigan is always like, it's always a lot
It's
more
a
peaceful. I
nostalgic
feel like.
feeling for me.
Something about
Yeah,
it.
I feel like Michigan highways are not very populated.
Yeah, maybe that.
Like, they're not very
yeah,
crowded.
That might be it.
I'm looking forward to driving again sometime soon.
Maybe that makes sense because it's a dead end basically, unless you're going to Canada.
Oh yeah.
Like-
UP.
Like Indiana and Ohio, they're both crossways for lots of different places.
And so,
So
here we had
this-
kind of like an.
Sorry, this split screen. I did it that way so that there's no black bars. I just wanted to experiment with that.
I was just saying we had kind of like an unintentional three-way split up, so to speak,
Oh yeah. Because
because I
Yeah.
decided to go further to see if there were any campsites.
this worked out perfectly the way you walked back
Yeah.
into the frame.
Yeah, that was great. So, have you seen the previous version we posted and then this revised version?
No.
Have you seen both the difference, or did you only see one
I
of them?
see.
I
I
think
saw
I
both
saw
of them, but I don't know
some,
the
but I forget
differences.
what.
This whole scene was pretty significantly edited, or I significantly edited it after we initially posted it because I just felt like it was too long. But you can't even tell that we had done anything, so I think it was definitely the right choice to cut. What we cut.
Kind of. It sounds like it was a lot of Albuquerque editing.
What was it the dialogue or was it the walking?
tone
No,
it
it was
down.
just we were redundant, and there was extra walking shots, and I forgot about the Albuquerque. Those were good edits. Yeah,
That was
that was a good call.
night and day, if you do say so myself.
Yeah,
I'm
talked
surprised
about
you
that in
went
the
down there
commentary,
with like your backpack.
Yeah, I was
Why-
just
why
thinking
did
that
I
the other
do that?
day.
Did you
I was
go
like,
down there with the intention of maybe
No.
camping down there?
No.
Oh, okay.
You got all that wood too.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the rules are. What are the rules for camping at a campsite when it's closed?
Yeah, probably can't.
Yeah.
This was actually a really cool site, like just the way it's nestled in here, and
Yeah, that's
Hidden
why
away.
I thought it would have been really good. Was besides the fact that it had enough open space and it was flat and like there weren't a lot of plants, but it was kind of surrounded by like just this little hill. That,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So I was like, in case it was really windy again.
In retrospect, it's surprising that wasn't already an established campsite.
We looked for an established campsite.
Yeah.
I hiked actually like about a half a mile.
Oh, yeah,
My
For further ahead.
yeah, my thought process or my logic on that whole thing was basically people were basically hiking in, camping by the beach, and then hiking out. And then they were not looking for any campsites besides next to the beach. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, like we said, this is a very short trail. This could easily be a day hike for anyone.
Sure.
So if anybody was setting up a campsite, it was because they wanted to camp next to the beach.
Yeah, Thomas had gone way far ahead.
Yeah, like a half mile.
And at one point, the rest of us just kind of like...
We stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there really wasn't that much of a point for us to keep going. Cause,
right. Anything Thomas saw, we would have.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Yeah, this is a good
Thank
song,
God
too.
we brought the footprint for those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we used our tarp for our footprint.
Yeah.
Footprint? For the tents?
Yeah.
It is funny how much we split up in this episode. It really adds a nice, like, twist to it, I guess.
A little variety.
A little zest.
I think it goes back to what Robby said, was there was a lot of variety in the just like what we saw over the course of the trip.
Yeah.
So hiking like a mile north was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew looks like the dude from Spaceballs.
Oh, Lord Helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally see that.
I
was
going to keep going.
Oh, no, it was really fun collecting the wood for me.
Yeah, I went a little crazy on the sawing.
So is that like a actual like technique?
So that's what I learned in my survival class, and I was telling Thomas to do that.
I assumed it was because
worked,
I don't think you would have told him to do that and then filmed it, like knowing that we would have gotten a lot of criticism if that
right.
wasn't.
Yeah.
So.
My favorite one, though, was, and I got it off camera, but I walked maybe about 100 yards away, and I chopped down like just this, not chopped down, but I took off this dead tree and dragged that back so we could all sit on it.
Dang,
All the wood we process is all already dead.
we missed it, but there was a nice shot of Thomas with the trees outlining him when he's sawing. But that was earlier. It is good that you went back, though, because, like, just for the episode's sake, it's nice to get that last look of.
Yeah, well, that was kind of what I was thinking when I did it. I was like, dude, we can't end it at that. We have to have that final pictured rock sunset on the water sort of deal.
You look so cold.
I don't remember if I was particularly cold or not.
We were always cold.
It's funny how blue that water
Actually, as
is.
long as I'm hiking, I don't feel too cold.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys, but if I'm hiking, my hands are always warm.
Yeah.
My hands are
This is probably
That was a
my
smooth
favorite
shot.
song that I did for the episode. Do you guys think it reminds you of something? Because it reminds me of something, but I don't know what.
I definitely can get that sense. Oh, so this one, the waves are
Probably
in
the
slow
theme
mo,
song and
and
some
the,
other
the waves are in slow mo, and the sky is a time lapse. And the only problem is there's like grass.
That's
yeah.
I noticed that recently. I was like, oh, okay, so this
Yeah.
must be one of those split ones.
And you actually put a note in the editing, like, do you think people will notice this?
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Because I didn't notice it the first time.
Yeah.
And until I pointed it out, you didn't notice it. So I was like, well, if people don't notice it the first time,
Yeah.
it's fine.
This was a beautiful fire.
The grassy stuff I found was like, I knew when I picked it up on the beach, it was perfect.
You're like, oh, this gonna be good.
Like, we didn't even really need the fat wood. We just did that just to secure things.
The best part was I don't think we had any expectation for a fire during this trip
Yeah.
until we came
yeah.
across
Yeah.
that big pile of
Yeah.
firewood.
It was amazing how quickly some of the stuff was drying that day.
Yeah.
Like, it's really funny.
So why'd you alternate between big?
It's just sometimes it's you kind of got to get a feel for it, and sometimes it's just better to keep
Shower
putting
it.
a bunch of yeah.
I've never had it where it's just like chink.
It
Yeah,
depends.
yeah.
Like if you bring like your own like fire starter, like char cloth or like the tinder joints we used to use, one spark would usually be enough.
I feel like when you go fast, it kind of like raises the temperature more and more. But maybe I just imagine that.
This is a beautiful fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time I was starting it, Robby had come back. I don't know if that was clear or not. But
I'm sure Robby was like super excited.
No, I was filming it.
Oh right.
And I sang the...
oh right.
Oh.
I don't know where I started doing that, but just whenever you successfully...
I think that might have been when we made our theme song actually, because
Oh,
'cause
was
you were
I
like-
saying it needs to sound like the Green Ranger?
yeah, you also referenced like Back to the Future.
Oh,
Which how does the Back to the Future theme even go?
Yeah.
For our theme.
Yeah, like the part that goes da-da-da-da-da-da. He was
Which-
referencing other songs.
Which
from, like,
ironically
Anita.
sounds exactly like Smash Brothers.
Yeah, but we wrote ours first.
Yeah.
In that case.
Here's my my contribution.
Yeah, those logs. That was a good sitting log.
That's a good sitting log there, boy.
You're like the what's her name? The character that sets up all the camps.
Oh, Miss Grimshaw.
Yeah.
maybe this is known already, but I just realized why blue and orange are so.
Because it's like a primal.
Yeah, it's a primal thing. It's like
Yeah.
sunset plus fire is blue and orange, and you get this color, and you're just like, this is the greatest color ever.
yeah. Totally.
Color combo that is.
You've got to love yourself a fire.
This was such a happy moment though. Like
It was great.
unbelievable. Did you just check the recording? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
This is kind of funny, but like most of the times when we have a fire during camping, like it's great. It's like nice for me specifically. This is the first time where we've had a fire that I can remember where it's like, I am so happy to have this fire.
It got really warm too.
Yeah.
Like we had to sit back. It was
yeah.
too warm.
Good job cutting
Like
those
typically
logs, too.
when I have a fire, I'll be like, okay, Rob can sit here, Andrew can sit here. They can be close to the fire, and I'll
Yeah.
just. But this time I was like, nope, I want some of that heat.
Everybody get as close as possible.
And maybe it was obvious, but this was like one of the first times we might have done it before, but it was our first really good upside down fire. Because we knew we wanted it burning for a while.
The only upside down fire I remember was the one Nicole made.
Yeah, that might have been.
Upside down pineapple cake.
Can you walk me through what an upside down fire?
Yeah, so you take like typically with a fire, you start with the small stuff and you pile bigger and bigger things on it. Upside down, you make a platform of the bigger stuff, go to like the more medium, and then you start the small stuff on top.
And you let it burn down.
You can put some bigger stuff on top of it once you start it, but yeah, it burns down and it lets it burn more slowly, like longer through the night.
And it's better for winter, in my opinion, because it lets things dry. Like, you basically lets things dry without smothering the fire.
And having the platform also has a dual purpose of like raising stuff off of the wet ground.
Yeah. So we all had our own snacks, right? I had my yogurt-covered almonds. Thomas had his butter pretzels. Robbie had his blueberry blaze.
That blueberry blaze wasn't the right ratio. It was like 1-to-1 sweet to salty.
And then I had my cotton nut sack. Well, I don't think I'm eating them here.
It's funny how it's a cascade. One person gets out the snacks. Everybody's like, yeah, I'll go to get my snack too.
We were like all warming up, and they were like, okay, I'm warm. Time to eat.
We were playing Apex the other day, and I said, hang on. I was like, you eat that butter snap? And I'm like, you better
I
believe
knew
it.
it was buttersnap pretzels. I was like, it's got to be. And I
so
was really
funny.
jealous too.
It's so good. Butter snaps.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
love those.
Slow
I feel like it's
motion.
been a long time since we've had some good campfire shots because we just haven't
Yeah,
had
yeah, I
campfires.
haven't had them. Yeah.
This is like hipster ditty number 55.
True titty.
It's funny. It's like we're always like we gotta have that slow motion laughing shot, and it's always so easy to get us laughing.
Yeah.
Just one person says anything. I mean,
Especially
anything
when you're already
lewd.
feeling that good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was me collecting more wood.
Oh, wow.
So this shot,
This shot's incredible. Yeah. So,
yeah,
This is a really good shot.
we were in agreement that the dialogue was like not that interesting,
Yeah.
but we kept it in just because like we want it to be longer because it's such a nice
Yeah.
shot.
This is like it's like the shot we had from Red River Gorge. It's like iconic.
Yeah. Because this is the real conversation, but that shot kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So initially, I had taken out that previous shot, and you were like, "No, I want to leave that in because it's such a good shot." And I was like,
Right,
"Yeah,
right.
you're right. Yeah, the crickets were perfectly tasty. It was just there. You look at them and you.
Did you expect them to taste like how they? Because that's exactly how I thought.
Yeah,
they
it's
would.
about
Yeah.
what I expected.
I basically, yeah.
The part that I didn't like were the legs, because the legs would get caught in your teeth.
Oh,
Yeah.
the legs
That-
were. The
that
head
felt
was the
too real.
freakiest
I'm
part.
glad I didn't have braces at this point. 'Cause I'd have been like,
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Ugh.
But it basically just felt like eating, like
There's some.
They look like honeybees.
You said hot fries at some point, but
yeah, they
Yeah.
tasted.
Tasted
That
like
was just
fries,
like
yeah.
the spices and
Yeah,
stuff.
I was not a fan.
texture too.
I wouldn't
texture.
eat them normally. Like
Yeah.
like if I had no qualms like looking at them and eating them, I still wouldn't eat them just because I didn't find them very satisfying.
You could grind it up and like bread a chicken drumstick with it or something.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You could.
Would you be upset if someone served you that and didn't tell you that it was that?
Yes.
Really?
Well,
'Cause
it depends on if they said it was something else. Like
No,
if they
just
just
that they
gave
didn't
it to
mention
me, I'd be like, yeah, all right,
Okay.
whatever.
It's like, why is there an eyeball here?
Monkey brains.
Monkey brains?
So I couldn't actually see the crickets the whole time you guys were filming them originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I just didn't say anything. I was like, okay, he hands me the crickets. I don't know what it looks like. Oh.
Ignorance is bliss.
Oh, we are still talking about the crickets, aren't we? Yeah, one by one.
and I went to throw some more wood on the fire. That's why I left.
I think I get up at some point while you're. Oh yeah, you must have edited that. But I like got up right when you popped one in your mouth, and I forget why.
Yeah, there was some reason.
Yeah.
I did edit that out, I remember. These are so hard to edit, these. For one, we
Yeah.
got to find a more creative way to film it because it's just like...
We just need. I feel like we need to get more interesting shots. Or
Yeah.
something,
But it's also, it's like there's so much talking to sort through. It's like these are always big speed bumps.
You know,
in
and I
the
was
edit.
showing some friends of mine film clips from there, and whenever I would, it would be like a 70% of the time we would end up on a talking shot. Like, oh yeah, let me skip through this, and show you where like the real fun stuff is.
I think the talking shots are more enjoyable when you've started to relate to us as people, like as
Yeah.
characters, so to speak.
Oh, are you
more.
saying you were landing on the talking shots and then skipping out of them?
Yeah, it was because I wanted them to
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
what we're about.
Right.
And if this is our first interaction with us, we want it to be.
Yeah.
That's actually. I was watching Pictured Rocks with a friend, and there's one Philosophy scene that I just really wish we had trimmed down a lot more. But everything else is great about that episode.
I would say, from an editing standpoint, keep the talk in the beginning of the episode short, and then have a longer talk at the end because you warm up to us by the time we're in
Which
the
is
last act.
what we did here for the most part.
No, we've gotten a lot better compared to season 1.
I mean, I think all these scenes are actually
Yeah.
totally fine.
Visually, this is a great shot because you have the in the
smoke.
foreground,
Yeah.
the smoke.
And it's kind of adding a bluish color too.
It really kind of sends that winter feeling when you see
Yeah.
the steam and the smoke
Look
and the
at
breath.
Robby's breath.
That must have been like extra foggy because of the heat in your mouth or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think that always happens.
like from eating.
Like my favorite line from the episode.
I love eating with a wooden spoon.
Oh, but just to reiterate for the commentary, where's that from again?
Hateful.
Oh, Hateful Eight. Yeah. I was like, huh? I was like, I carved it out of a bigger spoon.
They say he carved it from a bigger spoon.
Do you guys remember which was your favorite? I feel like the pho was not as good as I hoped it would be.
I'm not a pho fan, man.
No, you can't judge your pho off of that.
I'm not a pho fan from any pho I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
You just don't get fulfilled.
中国的拉面最好的
oh, we should go to this Chinese noodle place sometime.
Like a Taiwanese ramen place, la mian place, blows the pants off of pho.
I think you like noodle with like substance.
Yeah, it's gotta have
and
some
pho
substance,
does not
yeah.
have that. Like
pho
the noodles
is like,
don't.
I feel like pho for breakfast would be really good though.
Hey fellas, have I told you about mac and cheese?
Spaghetti.
I like mac and cheese a lot too.
There's a really good Chinese beef noodle soup place. They've got all sorts of dishes there though, but we should go there like maybe tonight. Oh wait, no, we're not. We have dinner plans.
I was gonna say.
It's dinner time.
We look like a rainbow from like red to purple to blue or something.
We're Skittles.
Don't we?
I ate all the Skittles, by the way.
I look like I'm throwing a kamehameha.
Hadouken. You're like constantly refilling the fire with the fireball.
That headlamp that I have, geez, is buy it for life, man. I've had that thing
That
for
is really
11
fu-
years.
Yeah. That is nuts.
You
12.
took it to Hocking Hills.
12 maybe, yeah.
Yeah. 'cause you had it-
2007, yeah.
He's had it since our first camping trip ever.
Yeah.
Because we had all those immature pictures.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
We probably will talk about this the next time we go camping, but have you all stuck to your resolutions or whatever?
Oh,
Or how is that going?
yeah.
Since we're talking
What
about
resolution?
Mine are still hobbling along.
Yeah, mine are hobbling.
It's definitely
It's
a
like
hobble,
a bit of a limp.
but it's still there.
Mine has kind of changed and adapted a little bit, but still at its core, it's what I want it to be.
Started taking Wing Chun classes, so that's something. And I finally got a planner.
What's a Wing Chun class?
You know what?
It's a type of kung fu.
A really quick funny story about your planner is I saw that planner sitting on the table and I was like, whose is this? I was like, it's not mine. It's definitely not Andrew's.
That is really
And then I opened it up and I saw Wing Chun class. I was like, oh my God, Andrew's got a planner.
Do you have it? Can
It's
we
like, oh
see
my
it?
God. Is hell frozen over?
Can we see your planner?
You want to see it right now?
Yeah. Oh, I'm just curious.
I mean, you can show them too. Or why not? I'm actually kind of excited to see it
The
too.
thing is, The thing is, I had to choose between like a planner that had actual calendar stuff in it versus just a notebook. There's none that just has like every day of the week, but you can fill in your own date, which is kind of annoying. Because if I bought one that was a calendar one, I'm wasting 2 months already.
Okay.
So I had to draw my own like.
Open it.
It's got a nice leather.
It does,
leather
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You know, it's spiral bound.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Oh, so you have to draw your own dates.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
so it actually had snowed over, like it transitioned
yeah.
into snow
Some nice
that night,
snowflakes.
and actually it snowed for the rest of the day. But man, waking up to like a snow-covered tent is fantastic. That's
Oh,
like one of the
it's
best
great, man.
things,
Yeah.
especially because it's not rain.
I find in the morning, I am so cold.
Oh yeah.
It's like your
Yeah.
body just hasn't started moving.
No, I
yet.
think that's like a biological.
Yeah.
thing.
The funny thing is, you see me just standing there, like barely moving. My philosophy now for mornings is you get up, you just tank right through that coldness.
Yeah,
and
that's
Yeah.
what you got to
It's
do.
the
get
only
past
thing you
that.
can do,
Yeah, like no more lying in that sleeping bag trying to drag it out to the last minute.
My toes were just like I could not feel them for most of the morning.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
actually, at some point, was it this day where you were like, what? How do I know if I have hypothermia? Was that the night before?
That was the first morning.
Okay.
Oh right, yeah.
But yeah, there's something nice about being forced to like get up and start doing stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a much more natural way of living.
Yeah.
Like doing stuff is easier than not doing stuff. It's weird.
I think if we go winter camping, we just have
Once
to
you get going.
agree that when people start getting up, we all just have to get up.
Yeah.
Like so that we're all up, active, and having things to do.
The worst part is the transition
Yeah.
of sleeping to getting up.
Yeah.
But after that, you're fine.
Yeah, and then if you're like the first person up, like sometimes, like you just have nothing to do if everybody else is still sleeping. You're just like, well, what do I do?
I mean, in the summertime, it's great because you can start like cooking bacon and eggs
Yeah.
and being that satisfying waker upper.
Yeah.
or just enjoy the sun and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the cold, it's got to be a group effort.
Yeah.
No question about
So
it.
you can notice we have a plastic Ziploc bag on our camera to keep it waterproof. We've always like kind of bounced around different ideas.
Yeah.
One time we did saran wrap.
yeah, just nothing really works all that
Yeah.
well.
I think a bigger Ziploc might be okay.
I think if we just
I like this shot a lot, by the way. I don't know why. It's just
invested in, because we
Different.
only have 2 cameras, so if we invested in a nice, actual good plastic bag,
Oh,
just
plastic
kinda-
bag maybe.
and
yeah.
just kind of like mess with it at home to make sure like we had it.
that looks really cool too.
Yeah.
This was the most winter wonderland weather ever,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely a great way for the trip to end.
and that
So-
song is great.
Yeah, so this song, initially we used the opening song for this episode for the ending, and I was just like, this just doesn't feel
It's
right.
not the right mood.
Yeah.
What would you say?
This is such a Christmas.
No, this
song.
was actually the song that I was most proud of for this episode.
What would you say is the most wintry episode you guys have filmed?
either this or Seneca, I'd say.
Not Dolly Sods?
No, Dolly Sods.
I was gonna say Dolly Sod's up there because there's so much Christmas
Yeah,
stuff we
that's
do in
true.
there.
You
I
literally
love these
spent
shots, by
Christmas
the way.
there.
Yeah.
I love these like
But Dolly-
telephoto shots
yeah.
of the snow.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'd say this is probably the most wintry episode we've done because it was literally
I was being serious.
like snow the whole time.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's kind of what I thought too.
I do love this song.
And it's funny because like even after seeing Lake Michigan, this lake was still really impressive.
This was literally my favorite moment of the trip because
Amazing.
seeing that completely like clean like
Yeah.
lake was just awesome.
You know, and just from a story arc structure, this is like such a good climax
Yeah,
and end.
it really
Yeah.
is.
Denouement.
It was funny because we were on the trip. I was like, and then we'd end the episode of us leaving. They'd be like, Brian, you'll do anything to just shorten the trip. Like, but that's a good idea, right?
And it was.
I forgot about that.
You know, this is like this whole scene with the snow. This is like straight out of Calvin and Hobbes.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
There is a painting, like from one of his Sunday strips, that looks just like this.
So every time I see like really nice snowfall in like day to day, I'm like, dang, I wish we could capture this on an episode. And I'm like, oh wait, we did.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes.
I do wish one of you told me that my red hood was down. Not that it's
Oh.
a big deal, but my red hood should have been up.
It's fine.
I did.
Yeah, no.
Literally,
guys
ruined this trip
Not
for
in a
me.
million years would that have occurred to me. That
Ruined
that'd be
this
an
trip
issue.
for me.
Oh, here it is.
Oh yeah.
And actually, a side note, we're actually not walking the right way.
Right.
We're actually
yeah.
walking away from the trail that we should be going on, but the
It looked
shot was
cool.
just so good. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
So it actually transitioned into slow motion. It's kind of hard to tell.
Oh, right.
Like right when Nate's drums come in, it's like
It's a really nice ending because like the narration ends and there's that hit. And,
yeah.
I really love shots when the credits are on top of like the last shot. You know?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Even the white on white text.
Yeah.
The thing I liked most about this lake area was that it really felt like, for some reason, it felt like we were actually just going out and adventuring completely off trails and just going wherever to set up a camp. But
The snow always makes things feel so open.
yeah,
and,
it's
like,
probably because it's like it covers any trace of
right.
any like actual human interference or whatever.
Like even at the campground, it was all covered in snow and kind of had a wild
yeah.
appearance.
Up Trail 71.
Yeah, so up trail, Bob helped us sort of figure out some places we might be able to go. I mean, we had already had this picked out as an idea, but we just consulted him. And
You know, one of my favorite things, and this is for Robbie's vlog as well as our videos, I love when you think it's the end, it's not actually the end.
yeah,
And it's so satisfying to have the encore performance.
that's like there's
The
some
closure.
like I feel like some people have the idea like, oh, after a movie you shouldn't have a secret ending for like taste or style, but it's like
Oh God, dude! If a video doesn't have a secret ending, it is not finished. You did not finish your video yet.
that is something I'm really glad is that our credits are always something extra.
Yeah, you gotta have that dessert, man.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
little piece of chocolate.
We
nip,
mentioned this in
something.
the premiere, but so what happened was Thomas was sweeping the snow, and I opened the
Oh,
door
right.
to stick my head out and say that the front was good,
And he, like-
had just swept some snow, so it landed in my face and my head, and I just closed the door. And didn't say
He
anything.
also was scraping the paint. I don't think you're supposed to
I wasn't
scrape the
scraping
paint.
the paint.
You absolutely were.
Where?
On that last shot when you got it right into Bryan, you're scraping the top, not the glass.
Oh, you gotta.
Oh, that's because it's on the top. Sometimes it flies off.
Yeah, it'll fall down onto your.
Yeah,
you gonna
but
say
I don't
something
think you're supposed to
earlier?
use your scraper. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was. It's not important.
Oh, so this is the first time we've done the actual like Patreon credits as one row. I used to be worried that it would like take too long as we got more patrons, but also I just found a way that to like copy and paste it after hand typing it every single time.
I
so.
cannot believe you hand typed it every time. That
Well,
is
'cause I
above
feel
and
like
beyond.
before-
You didn't know how to copy and paste it?
No. Before when I tried, like it messed the formatting up. But then, so like what it happens is you copy and paste it instead of spaces. There's tabs. But then I found out, like, oh, I can Control
Is
F
it
the
a-
tab and change it to a space. And
Is it an Excel file?
it starts as an Excel file. Then I have to paste it into Word, and then I have to change the tabs to spaces and then copy that.
That's a way. You just have
Which
to
is why I
change.
didn't
You just
realize
have
it
to
at
change the format of the
Yeah.
Excel file.
The reason we put
that's
it
a
in
great
one
shot, by
row
the
is
way.
so that it doesn't cover
Yeah.
what's happening because
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
covering all the other ones. So Susanna Sinard, is that your mom?
That is my mom.
Oh, thank you, Thomas's mom.
I think our parents are in here too at some point. Oh, there's Eric.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Right after
bef-
Eric.
Oh,
Okay,
I
here's
didn't
a
know
little
they were on
story
there.
about Eric Locker. He's a good friend of mine. We play video games.
Those are
he
great
gets
shots,
very
by the
drunk on Fridays when we play video games, and he gets very easy to convince to do things. So jokingly, I told him he should sign up on Patreon as a $100 patron, and he did it. And he didn't change it for 3 episodes.
Was this song at all? Joe Pesci. Was this song at all based on like Peanuts? Like
It is totally based on Peanuts.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was obvious. So, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of was, but it's different enough that
It's pretty close.
So we talked about the post hike meals,
that
but
bread.
this post hike meal ranks up among some of the most memorable, along with the first time we went to Red River Gorge. They were ate
Yeah.
at that one pizza place.
That's
Old
interesting.
Miguel's.
Yeah, Miguel's.
Also, I was pointing some of the shots out earlier, but like you were intentionally trying to get some more interesting
Yeah.
shots. They looked really good.
Well, I
and
think-
even in slow mo and movie.
Yeah, whenever we do these post-hike meals, it's always we're just like, yeah, whatever, you just film it. You know? I was like, let's put some effort into the post-hike
Yeah.
meal shots.
You remember that Parmesan you were trying to like nothing was coming out? Just whacked it on
Oh,
the
yeah.
table, and everyone looked at me. And,
Why did you do that, by the way? So is that you in the back getting more food?
That is him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I did. It
I don't
because-
remember you being in
I
the
don't.
shot.
I normally tap it on the side, but I don't like whack it.
It worked.
I mean, you could use your hand.
It was really loud.
I rest my case.
But yeah, that bread was just how I remembered it. Like that
Yeah,
flat, crispy, oily.
It's just like those Los Gauchos.
Los Gauchos.
What are those called?
Oh,
Tostas?
yeah,
What
yeah,
are-
yeah.
Tortas.
Oh, the tortas.
Yeah. I got one of those today, actually. It's
Oh,
just
you
like-
did?
Yeah.
I'm so hungry. Ugh.
I got one of their gringas, too. You know, the gringa?
Oh yeah, those are good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was good, but it was just $4 for that little thing. I should have just got another Tostas.
You got a little one?
What is it called?
Mostly
Tostas?
like this big.
The Gringas is supposed to be like
Tortas, yeah.
big. It's
Yeah,
like that big.
it's like
It
two
was
tacos.
this big. Yeah, it was disappointing.
The torta is a good value.
Is it tortas with the S, or do you not pronounce the S? I don't know anything.
I
about
don't know.
sushi.
It's probably
With
Sinard.
S. You said yes.
Oh, you do?
Torta.
Actually, another reason why we re-rendered is because I had to blank out your license plate. I forgot to do that on the first one.
Yeah. This is actually that's Andrew's Subaru.
Yeah.
Mine's green.
It's funny. Sometimes I'll see names and I'm like, are these people?
Is
that I know
Catherine's
some-
name misspelled, or is that how she?
I think no. It's got to be how because it's copy paste.
So this dude right here.
Oh yeah.
He just recognized us while we were
Yeah.
filming. We're like, you want to be in?
And
this?
it's funny. 'Cause there was like a group of 10, and he was the last one.
Yeah.
Also, these shoutouts ended up being way better than I thought they would be.
I saw the Robby one, and then Andrew was like, "Okay, I'm gonna be this one." I'm like, "This is gonna be terrible."
Also,
Turned
I
out to
had-
be great.
I had friends over at the time, so I had to do it in front of them, which was awful. Working up that courage.
And we filmed this at the top of the stairs because I wanted an upward angle shot,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
like an
that was
announcer
good.
standing on the
Yeah.
stage.
The freeze frame.
I still want to know what you're like. Did you come out of the shower and you had just watched Rocky?
No, I had this one in mind for ages, and I was like, okay, let me go in the shower, get wet, and then put on the towel like I've just got done with the fight.
Someone commented on this shout out, but they said, "Oh, that was a good shout out," but they referenced something, the wrong thing.
Well, I'm glad they thought it was good because that was definitely like something we hamstrung.
What was it now?
I what was this supposed to be?
It's
That-
supposed to be the Game of Thrones.
That
Oh,
Game of
yeah.
Thrones thing, I was like on a roll going to bed at 11 o'clock, and it was like 2 in the morning at that point, and nobody else had come up with any shout outs, and Thomas was literally already in bed.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what you're getting.
I was very sleepy.
Oh, right. This.
What did I say?
How did you think of that on the fly so quickly?
What did I say?
To the tops of Mount. We were
Oh,
adventure.
right.
Right to the bottom of the Manistee River.
Wait, was that you who said Manistee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Wait, you haven't seen that before?
No, I have. I just didn't
Oh.
realize it was Brian saying it for some reason.
Yeah.
I just forgot. But
Well, what do you think
Yeah.
about that?
It's good.
it's good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
7 out of 10.
All right, wrap it up.
There you go.
Thank you so much for joining us for this commentary. We hope you enjoyed it. Please continue. Thank you for your support. Keep it up for more live streams and weekly updates and more things like this.
We got some good trips coming up.
Yeah.
The weather's starting to thaw.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good one.